Hi, my name is Amy, and I am here to show you how to make earrings. Specifically, I'm making this video for our volunteers, as a lot of people are asking, how can I help out for the Visitor Center for the Docent program? Well, one of the things that happened in the first couple of days that I was there, some people approached me and they showed me the bison earrings, which they had bought at other preserves and other places before. And I was really impressed, so I did some research and I found that there were a lot of different kinds of bison earrings, but they were very expensive, like $20 to $50 per pair. And as I remembered, I looked back at my favorite bead website from college, which is Shipwreck Beads in Olympia, Washington, and found out that the supplies are actually quite inexpensive. So what I did was I purchased some beads just to kind of see how they are, and I made some bead kits so people could make their own bison earrings. So I can show you kind of the elements here, and then I'm going to cut the video down to showing what my hands are doing, so it'll be a little bit more descriptive than just seeing me do it in this wide format. So here I am. I'm in my home office / crafting room. Over there is a sewing machine. Over here is my scanner printer. And this is my wonderful window outside with my beautiful Pioneer Woman curtains, which I got on sale. So some of the elements you'll see, this is kind of the end game here, is a set of earrings on our earring tabs, which I have a box of right here, probably about 300 of them. I don't think we're going to make 300 earrings. And these are some earrings I made with some Neko, Mononoke Neko, I'm probably saying this wrong, Japanese good luck kitties that I got from Japan, and I made these earrings. They're basically hook earrings. They've got a little dangle on there that I made of rose hips, and then the little kitty with their lucky fish. So these are kind of just your basic earrings going on. They've got a bead that's held on a post, and then they've got a dangle that's made of a chain of posts. So what I got were these wonderful, cute little bison. They look just like the earrings that some of the docents showed me. And I got them in gold, and I got them in silver. Now, they are out of stock now at Shipwreck, but there are a lot of sites on Etsy that are still selling them in stock. I also got these tiny feathers. Excuse me, I got these tiny feathers, and I got bronze feathers as well for the antique prices. So I've got bronze feathers and silver feathers to make into dangles to go on the bison earrings. And I've also bought special earring latches. These are not your typical hook earrings, but a little bit more high quality latch earrings, which are really fun because they don't fall off. So those are some of the things, and I got them in brass and in silver. And to kind of incorporate different interesting elements into the dangles that go with the bison beads, there are bells, there are turquoise beads like this, there are black real pearl beads, and they're, you know, just kind of an assortment of little things that a creative person can throw in there to kind of make different sets of earrings, but on the same theme as the bison earrings. So the steps are pretty easy to go. So here we have our bison. When you make a bison earring, because of the hole that's inside the bison, you're going to need something to kind of stop it up. So we have T-pins right here. They have an end on them. And sometimes the T-pins will hold, but these ones don't. So I got a little seed bead here, and I'm going to stick the T-pin into the seed bead, and then I'm going to put the bison onto the post, and there we've got our little bison holding on. Now I'm probably getting some brass beads that are going to look a little better. And then the next step is to take your bead pliers here. And of course, we've got each little kit's going to come with a little mini pair that has a cutter and then the rounded plier tongs here. You take your tongs and you make your loop. So the bead, these round bead pliers have got these wonderful loops, and you just kind of use your fingers and you wrap it around so it makes kind of a loop. Then you take your clippers, which is built into the little ones, but in this case I use my own clippers here, which is just your standard little wire cutters, but for beads. And you snip. Oh, and there's a kitty. That's Mr. Flynn. He is 9 months old and he's enormous. And then you take your bead clippers and you twist them into a loop, which you're going to attach to your earring. So here is your basic bison earring ready to go to be attached to the post. Now, you can make these terms all at once and then I'll attach them to the flip it all the way. But then the most important, well, I guess not the most important thing, but thing is here, so as you make these little elements, you're going to need what's called a jump ring. So jump rings come in many sizes. I'm just going to show this big one, and I'm going to show this on a little video too. So what you do with the jump ring is either you take it in your hand and your pliers, or you take 2 pliers and you twist. Now your jump ring is open. Then you attach your bead elements to the jump ring. This is way too big, by the way, for this, but I'm going to use it as an example here. And then you have kind of your basic rundown for your bison earring. And then you take this, you attach it to your hook. This is probably going to be a little too big for this. And you close your jump ring, and then you have a bison earring. Now, it's going to look better than this because the jump ring is going to be smaller. But some of the ways you can adjust for this is to make your dangle longer, or you can add smaller beads. Most people who have done bead and jewelry work before kind of know how to compensate or make something that looks artistically pleasing. And then we attach them to the card, and we have a authentic tallgrass prairie bison earring. So I'm going to show this to you in small scale in the next section of the video. Okay, so here we have the kind of the work service here going on. Please forgive me, my webcam is kind of cruddy, but it'll do the trick. So let's talk about the ingredients you need. So you're going to need your beading tools here. Here are the mini shears with the built-in wire cutter. Mini pliers. These are my big pliers that I use. We've got the round nose pliers that you can do your wraparounds on to make hooks, and you've got your wire cutters. You can also use your standard needle nose pliers. It makes it a little harder to get a really good round loop though. Your general elements for making these earrings, you've got your eye pin with the eye. Let's see if that looks good. Eye pin. You have got your T-pin with a little T on the top. If you choose to, I mean, if you want to make your own earrings, I still have a couple of these left. This is a T-pin with an ornamental tip, and that actually is super big, so it makes it nice to put a bead on. It won't go anywhere. So we've got our eye pin, our T-pin, there's an ornamental T-pin. We have got our jump rings. This is a super big one I use for demonstration, but it's just a ring that you can push apart to attach things to. And then we've got our things to make danglies. So we've got turquoise beads. You can use pretty much any kind of bead. I'm a big fan of natural stone beads, like, you know, this is sodalite. It's not real turquoise, it's dyed. And then of course you've got your earring elements. So here we've got our latched earring. And of course when you make earrings, you need 2 for everything, because you're going to make 2 pairs of earrings. And here we've got some of our danglies. So I've got the tiny feather dangly, and I've got the tiny or the bigger bronze feather dangly, which I hope to get more if they were out of stock, so I only could get a few. So your completed little bison here kind of looks like this. So let me go through the process of making a bison dangly. So we've got our T-pin. We take a bead here to help keep the T-pin from going anywhere, or keep the bison from going anywhere. So you take the tiny bead, super tiny, you can't even see it, there it is, and you put it on the T-pin, and now that's held in place. And then you take your bison or your bead, depending on what you're doing, and you insist, is this the silver or the gold one? I think I'm not using the right one. Let's just reverse that process here. Grab a silver one. Here's the silver one. All right, so you take your silver bead, your silver T-pin, put your little glass bead on it. You take your bison, you put your bison on the post. Now it's nice and secure, and I mean, honestly, you can dress this really up, different color beads that color coordinate with the danglies. You take your round or needle nose pliers, you choose a good distance here, and with a decently sized to make a loop, and then you wrap your loop gently, wrap your loop gently around there. And then once you get it to the size you really like it, then you clip. And eventually I'll have to retrieve that.
and then you close the loop. You don't want to close it too tight because you are going to use it, and then you kind of right the loop so it's nice and looks, you know, like a professional jewelry there. Okay, so you've got your bison charm. So I've already made this one right here. I made this one earlier before. So here's a little charmy guy. He is on the post, and then you take this, you attach it to your jump ring, which I showed you how to open before. Basically, it's just either a twist of the pliers or a pull of the fingers, and you have got your loop open and ready to put a charm on. So I put the bison charm on the loop. Then I put the dangly. In this case, the dangly I made with the feathers. And I'll go over that one again. Here's the dangly with the feathers. Put that on the loop, and then close the loop. And now you have your loop ready for the earring. You don't have to close it all the way because you have to attach it to your earring. So first of all, you're thinking, which way should my earring face when you put it on? So that's always good. You want the bison in the front, so you're going to make sure you attach your earring so that the bison goes in the front. And this is the most important part, I think, of all, is making sure that when you close your jump ring, what you do is just a little twist back together, and then making sure that you kind of seal the loop here. Press it back together gently. The nice thing about the round ones is they don't scratch like the needles do. Sometimes needle nose pliers will scratch. And now you have, whoops. Okay, gotta do this the right way. This is a very fine loop on these earrings, so I may have to go for a tinier jump ring in the future. So you close it really nice and tight. Stay down. All right, and then you have your bison earring ready to go. Now, as we get ready to put these up, oops, sorry, get your bison earring ready to go. All dangly, there's the bison, it's on an earring. I'm going to be working kind of more designs with this. But the nice thing is that as you go, you can kind of work through designs, and it's really pretty, and it's definitely something unique. So that's what we're looking for: unique, pretty, and we aren't paying $20 a pair of earring. We have something that's really directly connected to who we are and what we do for the preserve. So it's kind of a fun project, and really, I can recommend, if you have seeing problems or visual issues going on, you know, you can wear your reading glasses, but you can also get a magnifier system that will help you look down at the beads, or you can get special glasses like jeweler's glasses if you really want to go to the limit. But they do have things that can kind of help you look at the beads. If you have problems grasping, like me, I've got bigger hands, you can see a little giant here. A bigger tool will make it easier to use, but if you have small hands, a small tool might make it easier to use as far as making your beads. So I'm going to do this one more time because I'm probably going to cut this. But what you do when you're adding your elements to the bead, in this case we're going to be adding a feather dangle, and this is just a simple feather dangle from a bead. You're going to take it, you're going to, oops, it's the wrong color again, dang it. All right, I'm going to take it. You are going to, in this case, you already have a loop here, which is going to work perfectly. So you just take that loop, you're going to open it up. Am I doing this right? You're going to open it up just a little bit, and then you're going to attach your feather to the loop. There's the feather, and then you're going to close the loop. Now the loop is nice and closed. And the thing about these bead posts here, these pins, is that they're pretty flexible, so they're not hard to manipulate. It does make it hard to kind of, if you really, you know, handle them too hard, or if you use a tool that's not really designed for soft metals like this, it can scratch them up really good. So now I've got the bead dangly, and even though this is a huge post, which I could easily fill up with, let's just say here, I could easily fill it up with, here's a pearl. I could easily fill it up with lots of cool beads. Maybe I'll leave it like this. So I've got this cool pearl bead. You take your round pliers. You take your bead pin here. You wrap it very gently around, cut. Cut, and then you close the loop. Not too tight because you are going to be attaching it to an earring. In this case, you kind of want to make your loop look nice, so you kind of make it look like a question mark here. So I've got this nice question mark shaped loop. And then if I was just going to make a single earring out of this, I would take my, either attach it to a jump ring or take my earring, I'll put up the lid just a tiny bit, and there you go. And then you close your loop. And now you have this nice bead earring. Very simple, you know, honestly, a lot of people are looking for more simple stuff these days, and they really want specific things. So you can find at Shipwreck Beads or at Etsy selling shipwreck beads. You can find feathers, you can find butterflies, you can find bees, you can find coyotes, you can find bears. And honestly, finding bison or buffalo, sometimes you have to search for buffalo to get buffalo items or bison items, but there's a lot of variety out there, and you can have a lot of fun making your own jewelry. But the basic elements are, you've got your T-pin, you have your eye pin if you're planning on making danglies, you have your beads of choice, 2 per sets of earring, and you have your choice of earring clasp. These are the nicer ones, but the hook ones are just as nice. And that's how you make bison earrings. So it's a fun project. You can do it with kids, you can do it with relatives, you can set up a party and everybody make earrings together, and then you just put them on your earring cards and attach, either we'll attach our personal labels on them, or you can attach your own personal labels on the earrings you plan. You can give them as gifts, you can sell them on Etsy. Market is glutted, so make sure that you always have to make sure no one's doing what you're always doing, already doing, or no one's doing what you want to do and sell. And then there you go, so that's your earrings. I learned how to do this because I ran my own jewelry business for years. In the 2000s, you know, up until 2008, we talk about the economic crash there. You know, literally I was selling jewelry in Santa Cruz Mountains, and I was selling jewelry from shells and things that I found out on the Henry Cowell, you know, state beaches, and down in Asilomar, and along the coast from Monterey to Santa Cruz, and then up to Half Moon Bay. So I had all these beautiful jewelry and shells, and I still have quite a bit. So, and I also made beaded hairpins, which are still very unique, and not many people sell them. And it looks like with the way things going, I'm going to reopen that business. So, really, beading is a lot of fun. It was definitely a trend in the late 90s and throughout the 2000s. And the way that people set up bead stores is they were super expensive. So I just was really lucky to have had that experience with Shipwreck Beads in Olympia. And a couple of my friends in the SCA actually worked there. So it just gave me access to a great site, and they sell around the world. So definitely look up Shipwreck Beads. It's a real simple website, and they're good people. They're just going through kind of a stressful time right now because there's a high demand for people doing home crafts. So there you go. And I just wish everybody good health, and take care of yourselves. Take care of your families, and just find wholesome, meaningful activities to do together. You know, making crafts and doing jewelry is something you can pass on to other generations, and give them kind of a sense that, you know, things are just not what you always buy at the store, but the things that you make sometimes can be more meaningful gifts. And you can make things that really represent your personal, you know, your personality and the things that you like that you just can't get anywhere else. And that's kind of my goal for the Visitor Center as far as what we stock. You have one of the kind things that you really can't find anywhere else, and that really will help you remember the Tallgrass Prairie Preserve.